It's a State of the Nation address and some of the things that were said around it, not just our future prospects as a country, but also in terms of the pulse, where we come from for 2013 and the beginning of 2014. Here's Ewan, he's got the story.
Thank you so much, Ilana. Yes, millions of South Africans tuned in last night to see President Jacob Zuma deliver the State of the Nation's speech and, of course, the opening of Parliament. And joining us right now, we have Vukani Mde, Cape Argus, from the Cape Argus. He's the opinion editor, just to give us a bit of a rundown and see what his thoughts were on this big event last night. Vukani, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, Ewan.
I'm sure you were stuck in front of the TV as well, just watching the events go by. But President Jacob Zuma started off with a speech paying tribute to Tata Madiba, saying that we have a duty to take his legacy forward. Now, what is that legacy, and how far have we come in terms of, since Tata Madiba stepped in as president? Is South Africa nowadays, is it a better place?
The unequivocal answer to that question is a straightforward and resounding yes. South Africa is a better place in 2014 than it was in 1994. We live in a democracy, first of all, to state the obvious. We are freer as South Africans than we've ever been. South Africa's education system is improving. Our health systems are improving. We could be doing better on the economy, as President Jacob Zuma has himself acknowledged. Yes. And we could be doing better, quite frankly, in a whole lot of other areas. But ask any ordinary South African if they would rather be living in this country today or in this country on the 14th of February 1994, and they would undoubtedly say today.
Exactly. No, I'm very proud of how far we have come over the last couple of years now. One thing that the president focused on largely was education as well, and I mean that's always a very, very important factor to focus on. But what are some of the things that still needs to be done? If you had to say, when it comes to education, where would you like to see it still go?
Well, President Zuma focused on the fact yesterday that during his term of government, the matric pass rate, which we like to focus on quite a lot as South Africans, has moved from about 60-odd something to 78% now. So that is one matrix of improvement, if you like. But there's a lot else that's changing inside the system, besides the big headline numbers of the matric results. I think Zuma's government did well in 2009 by splitting the two education departments, higher education and basic education, because we have a lot to do in basic education in particular. And so it needed a sort of a very specified focus on the education of children from primary to secondary levels. We need to keep improving the matric pass rate, but we also need to keep improving the assessments throughout the system before you get to matric. We know, for instance, that South Africa's children do among the worst in the world when it comes to maths and science. We need to improve the level of our maths and science education. We need to train more teachers and train them better. We need to reopen the teacher education colleges that we closed down in a bizarre move in the 1990s to improve teacher training education.
Exactly, and I'm so glad that he did bring it up, because, like we said, education is really the one thing that can take this country forward. Now, he also spoke of 5 major job drivers, tourism being one, of course, living in one of the most beautiful countries in the world. It's a big sector which gives a lot of jobs to so many people. But what would you say are some of the other major job drivers that you can see that could be the solution to unemployment?
Well, one of the he focused on tourism quite a lot, and the numbers there are spectacular as well. From 3.5 million tourists in 1994 to about 13 million today, and still projected to grow because we've started off a very low base. But the other one that he focused on quite a lot was mining, the mining sector. Yes. Now it's fashionable to think of mining as a sort of sunset industry. Tourism is the future, it's the new industry, whereas mining is the industry of old. It's in decline. South African mining still employs 500,000 people, it still contributes about 20 billion to the tax base. And so mining is a very key area. We aren't going, besides the jobs numbers and the taxes contributed and everything, mining has a multiplier effect across the rest of the economy, particularly the industrial base of the economy. It's a supplier of goods and services. It's a buyer of goods and services to other parts of the economy. So besides the 500,000 people directly employed by mines, there's millions of other people who work in industries that depend on mining. So mining is going to remain a key area in the South African economy for probably for decades to come.
Exactly, and it's also very important to get those systems running smoothly as well to make sure that those jobs are sustained as well. Taking a look at his speech, I mean, he really did a good job at the speech last night, but it's much more reflective than it was, looking forward. What in your mind are some of the most important things that you think government should still work on?
Well, he did say that he would be reporting back on the last 5 years, particularly on the 5 priorities that they identified in 2009: education, health, rural development, and what was the other one? Jobs as well.
Yes.
While obviously he acknowledges, and all of us will acknowledge the fact that particularly on jobs and the economy, a lot more still needs to be done. President Zuma came into office during one of the world's worst recessions ever, probably the worst global downturn since the Great Depression in the 1930s. And 1 million jobs were lost in the South African economy in his first few years. Basically, his second term of office, when it comes to jobs, is what he needed to do in the first term of office is basically to stabilize that situation.
That's it.
In the second term of office, he's going to need to reverse that situation and to create jobs.
Right. Vukhani, thank you so very much. I wish we had some more time to discuss this. But Vukhani, thank you for your insights on the State of the Nation address that took place last night. Ilana, it's over to you.